Hello everyone, it's FSG here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to Hutan Pantai, and today we are going to take a bit of a deep dive into rice. We're going to look at both types of rice, we're going to look at how you plant them, how long it takes to plant them, the stages you need to go through, and what it looks like at each stage. So, without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's just have a little bit of a walk along the equipment we need here. So we have got the Iseki rice planter here. Got a small tractor and a trailer here because we need to fill our greenhouse over there with water to grow our rice saplings. We have a forklift here. We've got some solid fertilizer here, again, to fill the Iseki planter. We have our rice harvester here, and we have a small tractor and trailer to unload that rice. That is for the standard rice. The long grain rice has all this equipment over here. We will come back to that. We're going to focus on this rice first. The first thing you need to do is grab your water tanker, fill it up with water, and take it over to your greenhouse. So let's do that. So here we are, we have got our little tractor. We basically roll it up to the greenhouse, which we have already placed down, and we unload from here. And you can see straight away the saplings have appeared in the greenhouse. Now, you don't actually have to do the greenhouse method if you don't want. You can purchase these directly from in the shop. So just for clarity, in the category of pallets, you'll scroll down here and you can see a rice sapling pallet for $450, pounds or euros. I'm also going to show you where you get your greenhouse from. We set this down before we'd started the video, but basically you go into your productions and scroll along to greenhouses, and the first one you'll see here, $3,000, is your greenhouse for rice saplings. It just takes water and it outputs rice saplings. For clarity as well, we're going to do this test with seasonal growth off and with 1 day per month, so we are able to count how many steps or how many stages you need to go through for the rice. Now our saplings are growing. We will just jump into here and check and see how long it's going to take to produce 500 litres, which is 1 pallet. So it says 48 cycles per month, and it only costs $2 per month. But let's speed up time now and see how long it takes us to get a pallet to appear. Okay, so it is 4:36 in the morning. We started the timer at 3:15 in the afternoon the day before, and there is our first pallet of saplings just come out. So bear that in mind if you're going to be creating your own saplings. It does take quite a while for the first pallet to arrive. Right, we have skipped forward to 8 AM the next morning. As you can see, we still only have the 1 pallet here, but that is all we're going to need for starters. What we're going to do now is think about where we're going to plant these. We have got a nice grass field here, but we need to place our paddy field. Now, if you jump into the build menu here, like so, we're in greenhouses at the moment. If you click one along, you are into the cultivation section, and you have your rice paddy down here. Now, this is like dynamic pastures. You basically click in the corners where you want it to plant, like so. So I've done 4 corners there, and you can just about see there's a green line around the field. The grass is quite long here, so it's hard to see. But basically, when you've drawn the shape you want, you just need to right-click on your mouse button to finish. And there we go. There is our rice paddy. Now, if you just escape out, you can see it here. It raises the ground slightly, so one piece of advice here would be try and set this out on a relatively flat surface. You can do it where it's a little bit more hilly, but it will raise up some of the edges quite high, and you could cause you some issues. So make sure that you try and keep it on a relatively flat piece of land. Now, the first thing you need to do, even before you start planting, is with this rice, you need to plant it when the field is already flooded. So let's turn on the pump here and let's start to flood the water. So to turn on the pump, you press the R button, and it says here manage rice field. Water level is 0. We are going to flood the field, and off it goes. Right, let's go and get our planter sorted. Right, we're in our Iseki planter here. We are just going to roll it over to here because we do need some fertilizer in it. You can see the fertilizer boxes have just opened there. If they don't open, you just need to press the N button to open and close those. Now we need to lift one of the big bags in and get that filled up. So I'm in the forklift now. we will just pick one of these up. We'll thread a fork through one of them. This is just my style of play. If you want to, you can just press R to fill these up. But I like to play semi-realistically when I can. So we'll just drive this around here. Hopefully we'll get enough of a trigger and we can fill things up. There we go. Pressing the R button while we're in the planter fills it up with fertilizer. We can press the N button now, close those, and now we'll just get out of the way of this big bag and we will go and fill it up with some saplings. So we can roll around to our saplings on the floor here. And we could pick these up with a forklift, but I don't think we need to here. We just press the R button and they start to fill up. As you can see there, they're filling up the racks at the front and then they move along to the back. And there we go. One pallet fills your planter right up. So, driving over now to the field. Even though it is not completely flooded yet, it does allow you to start planting. So my advice would be, get on with it straight away and get it finished as soon as you can. So let's just drop it into the corner here. We're going to press and hold H. Of course, with the AI worker, we want to start on the up and downs and we'll finish on the headlands. So hit OK. We'll let the planter do his thing in this field and then we'll head on from there. Right, as you can see here, we're just about to finish the final headland of planting. You can see that the seeder sometimes gets a little bit slow as it goes past the pump. It's almost like there's a bit of a collision, or almost a collision on it, but the front of the pipe there is invisible. There's no collision on it, so it does get past no problems. So we're just going to wait for this final little bit to be done, and then we'll take a look at the crop and we'll show you what happens next. And there we have it. We have finished planting. So I'm just going to move the planter over here and park it up, because we're not going to need that again today. So we will leave that just here, and then we'll take a look at our crop. So there we go. You can see the water is starting to fill up in the field now. We have got a yield bonus of plus 75%, and we are 50% fertilized. So we are in a good spot here. So we are just going to wait now for this rice paddy to fill up with water. And there we have it. It took around about half an hour to do that. I think we finished planting just after sort of 20 past 8 in the morning, and it is 9:05 now. So that is your water full. You can check if your water level is okay by pressing the R button. It says water level 65%, and you can't click on either of these buttons at this point. So it tells you that it is in a good place. And that is you, pretty much. We're going to wait now until the next stage of growth. So we'll speed forward in time, and we'll let you know how long it is, and we'll come back and see where we are at the next stage of growth. So I've just stopped the time as it's moved to the next crop phase. We've moved into the next month, and we've just rolled past midnight, but you can see there your rice is now moved on a stage, looking very lush and green there. So we'll move to morning, just so you can see what we're doing, but we'll come back and see you then. Right, here we are. It is 9 AM in the morning. We have got rain, but if we go to our pump again, you can see we've got that extra level of growth. But if we press the R button now, you can see you get a warning saying the water level is too low, flood the field to avoid crop damage. So the water level is at 0. So we're going to flood the field again, keep it topped up. Now, the rain actually contributes to filling up the paddy field, but not by much. So you just need to put your pump on and let things go from there. Now, the other thing you'll notice as well, I did point this out before, we are fertilised 50%. Now it's moved on a growth stage. You can put that next layer of fertiliser on if you want to. So we have, in fact, got a tractor for that, and we have got a fertiliser spreader here. So let's get things sorted. One thing to notice here, though, if you have got crop damage turned on, you will need a tractor with thin wheels. If we took the Massey here with the wide wheels in, it would damage the crop, but the thin wheels will be okay. Hence the reason we've got this Kubota here. So let's fill this up. Let's get the fertiliser spreader, and we'll head over to the field and get this fertilised. But there we go, we are filling up our fertilizer spreader with the big bag there. We'll maybe take a second one as well. Fill it right up. Like so. And we will head over to the field now. Would you spread fertilizer in the rain? Probably not usually, but just for the purposes of this demo, we'll get it done right away. As we roll into the field here, you can see we're doing no damage to the crop due to the fact we've got these thin tyres on. So, B to spin up our spreader, and we will just run along to the end, turn round, and come back. The spreading width on this is huge, so this can be done very, very quickly. Like so, and that is another job done. Now if I stop at the end here, turn off the spreader, and jump out here, we'll just go back and check here. There we go, fertilised 100% now, and our yield bonus has grown to 97%. So, we have optimised our crop as much as possible. A little bit of mud on the tyres there, some of the new features of FS25, which are looking fantastic. Right, check the road, let's park this back up, and we are going to jump into the next phase. So the pump is still running here, we are still filling up the field, but that is pretty much all we need to do today. So, let's skip forward to the next day. Right, here we are, we have skipped forward to November, the next day, and around about the same time, 9 AM, and as you can see, no visual difference to the crop here. It's looking exactly the same as it did yesterday, but again, we check our pump now. Water level too low, we need to flood the field to avoid crop damage. So let's flood it again. And that is pretty much all we need to do for this stage, so we've just got to let it keep growing at this stage. So let's skip forward again, and we'll stop the next time we see a change in the growth state. Again, I've just stopped the clock as we've rolled past midnight. As you can see here, we have moved to our next stage of growth. We can't see it very well in the dark again, so we'll jump forward again till around about 9 in the morning. And here we are, 9 AM. You can see it's got a lot higher here. Again, first things first, let's check our pump levels. Now this time, it is not telling us to refill the field. The water level is at 0, but it does not require any more water. So, all we have to do at this point is wait. So we will skip right on forward now to the next stage. And once again we roll past midnight, and as you can see we have gone on to the next stage again. We have reached the final stage. If I walk up to it here, it will say to you growth ready to harvest. So let's skip forward so we've got some daylight, and we'll harvest the crop. So there we go, we are at 9:50 in the morning in the month of January. It has actually been 5 months since we planted our crop, so there are 5 growth stages, and we've had to do various things throughout. I will put a little table up here of what we've done to get to this point, so you can see what we've done in each month and what you need to remember to do as you're going through the process. Right, we've got our Iseki harvester here, so we will just jump in this, and we'll head over to the field, and we'll get it harvested. So there we go, we have got our harvester running here. It's going to take a little bit of time to grab this field. It's not the biggest field in the world, but we'll get all the crop off this, and we will let you know how much we gather. Right, there we go. Our hired worker is just about to finish the last row there. There are a couple of elements of the edge of the field that he's missed, but really not masses, not enough to really worry about doing anything about it. We will now whip this over to the trailer and get it unloaded. And that is that. We have got our rice. As you can see though, we don't have much. Granted, this is a relatively small field, but we haven't had to unload this once. And we have got 1,829 litres, and that is your lot. So we'll unload that into the trailer there, but we haven't finished just yet. Let me show you the last stage that you probably need to do before you get prepped and ready to do it all again. So there's our field. after it has been harvested. Now, you'll see here the field info, crop type rice, fertilised 50%, so it's retaining 50% of its fertilisation here at this point. So, if you press the R button here, you will also see that we cannot reflood this field yet. What you need to do first is cultivate it. So, we'll quickly cultivate the field here, we'll get it all ready, and then I'll show you that you basically then resetting the field back to get started again and plant your next year's crop. Okay, there we go. Cultivating done. And you will now see that we can go back to our pump here. Press R to engage, and it will allow us to flood it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And that is your field ready for the next year of rice harvest. Now, I'm just going to roll this off here. Park it over here again. Now, we're very quickly going to jump back into the harvester. As you can see, we only have 35% of crop left in for planting, but this is really more of a demonstration to show that we have still got that retained 50% fertilisation, which you can see there. So if you have fertiliser in your planter when you get started this time, you only need to do one fertilisation stage, whereas you had to do 2 the first time round. So what we'll do now, we'll get this planted and we'll crack on with our second year of rice harvest. And there you go, just to prove we have our 100% fertilisation there done. So, on that note, I hope you found that useful. We've gone through the full cycle of the rice planting and harvesting. And here is the information again, just at the end, so that you have it as a reference. I will also put this as a downloadable image in the description for the video as well, so you can reference it at future without having to go and watch this video back. But there was your essential guide to growing rice in Farming Simulator 25. We will be back for another video on long grain rice very soon. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Take care. Bye for now.